The United Earth Federation, UEF, stood as a beacon of strength and unity in the galaxy. Its formation marked the end of centuries of conflict, uniting humanity under a single banner. Among its most respected leaders were Admiral Nathaniel Carter and General Rachel Carter, a power couple known for their strategic brilliance and unwavering dedication. Their daughter, Emily, embodied the hope and promise of future generations. The family was on a diplomatic mission to Zarnath, a planet inhabited by the enigmatic Zarnathi. Peaceful negotiations had been ongoing, aimed at fostering cooperation between humans and the Zarnathi. Emily, with her insatiable curiosity, wandered away from the official delegation, captivated by the planet's alien beauty. Her innocent exploration led her to a secluded area, where she stumbled upon a clandestine military operation. Panic-stricken Zarnathi soldiers, fearing exposure, silenced Emily in the most brutal way possible. Her lifeless body was discovered by her parents, a scene that shattered their world. Grief quickly turned to fury as Nathaniel and Rachel demanded justice. The Zarnathi government, however, dismissed the incident as a tragic accident. The Carters knew better. They could see the cover-up in the hollow eyes and evasive words of the Zarnathi officials. The cold, calculating murder of their daughter could not go unpunished. News of Emily's death spread like wildfire through the UEF. Humanity, known for its resilience, was outraged. The Carters, driven by a burning need for retribution, began rallying support within the Federation. Their speeches, filled with sorrow and determination, resonated deeply with every human soul. They painted a vivid picture of a galaxy where such atrocities could not be tolerated. Emily was not just our daughter, Rachel addressed a somber crowd. She was a symbol of our future, of peace and unity. Her murder is an attack on all of us, on everything we stand for. Admiral Nathaniel stood beside her, his eyes filled with a mix of pain and resolve. The Zarnathi have crossed a line. They must answer for their actions. We must show them that humanity will not be cowed. Support swelled rapidly. Fleet commanders, politicians, and civilians alike rallied behind the Carters' cause. The UEF's mighty fleet, the largest and most advanced in the galaxy, was mobilized. Ships bristling with weaponry and filled with determined soldiers set course for Zarnath. The fleet moved with a singular purpose: vengeance. As the armada approached Zarnath, Nathaniel and Rachel shared a quiet moment in their quarters. The weight of their loss hung heavily in the air, but so did their unwavering commitment to justice. "We're doing the right thing," Nathaniel said softly, his hand resting on Rachel's shoulder. She nodded, her eyes distant. "We have to be. For Emily." The fleet arrived in the Zarnathi system, their presence a clear declaration of intent. Admiral Nathaniel addressed his forces, his voice firm and resolute. "Today, we stand not just as soldiers, but as avengers. We will show the Zarnathi the strength of humanity, the power of our unity. For Emily." With that, the human fleet began its assault. The initial strike was swift and devastating, catching the Zarnathi off guard. Nathaniel's strategic genius and Rachel's tactical acumen led the charge, their grief fueling their every action. The Zarnathi defenses crumbled under the relentless onslaught, but the Carters knew this was just the beginning. As the dust settled and the first battle ended, the Carters stood amidst the ruins of Zarnath's outer defenses. Their journey for vengeance had just begun, and they would not rest until justice was served. The initial assault on Zarnath had been a success, but Nathaniel and Rachel Carter knew their mission was far from over. They gathered their key advisors in the war room aboard the UEF flagship, Jockey, to strategize their next move. Holographic displays flickered with maps of the Zarnathi system, highlighting military installations and supply routes. "We've crippled their outer defenses," Nathaniel began, his voice steady. "But to truly bring them to their knees, we need to cut off their ability to wage war. Our next target is their main weapons manufacturing facility on Kralos." Rachel nodded in agreement. "Kralos is heavily fortified, but if we can take it out, we significantly weaken their military capabilities. This will send a clear message that humanity will not tolerate such heinous acts. The officers present exchanged grim looks, understanding the gravity of the task ahead. Commander Liu, a seasoned tactician, spoke up. We should expect heavy resistance. The Zarnathi won't give up Kralos without a fight. We'll need to coordinate a multi-pronged assault. As the meeting adjourned, Nathaniel and Rachel prepared their troops for the upcoming battle. The fleet moved with precision, entering warp space and emerging near Kralos in a matter of hours. The planet loomed ahead, its surface dotted with industrial complexes and defensive structures. The attack began at dawn, with squadrons of fighters and bombers launching from the jockey. Nathaniel directed the fleet's movements from the bridge, while Rachel coordinated ground forces. The sky above Kralos lit up with explosions as human ships engaged the Zarnathi defense grid. On the ground, Rachel led her troops through the thick of the battle, her presence a beacon of determination. She moved with purpose, barking orders and rallying her soldiers. The Zarnathi defenders fought fiercely, but the humans' resolve was unbreakable. As the fighting intensified, Nathaniel monitored the situation from the jockey. His tactical mind raced, analyzing enemy movements and adjusting their strategy on the fly. Concentrate fire on their anti-aircraft batteries, he ordered. We need to clear the skies for our bombers. The fleet responded with precision, targeting the Zarnathi defenses and creating openings for their ground forces. Rachel's troops pressed forward, inching closer to the main weapons facility. The air was thick with the sounds of battle, but Rachel's focus never wavered. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the battlefield. Rachel looked up to see a Zarnathi warship descending from the sky, its weapons trained on the human forces. Nathaniel, we've got a warship incoming, she shouted into her comm. Nathaniel's eyes narrowed as he assessed the threat. All ships, focus fire on that warship. We need to take it down before it decimates our ground forces. The human fleet unleashed a barrage of firepower, targeting the Zarnathi warship with everything they had. The enemy vessel retaliated, its energy weapons cutting through the human ships. But Nathaniel's strategic brilliance and the fleet's superior coordination soon turned the tide. With a final, devastating salvo, the Zarnathi warship exploded in a brilliant flash of light. Cheers erupted from the human troops as the wreckage plummeted to the ground. Rachel seized the moment, leading her soldiers in a final push towards the weapons facility. The facility's defenses crumbled under the relentless assault. Human forces breached the perimeter and stormed the complex, securing key objectives and disabling the production lines. Rachel's heart pounded with a mix of triumph and sorrow as they planted the UEF flag in the heart of the Zarnathi stronghold. Back on the jockey, Nathaniel received the confirmation from Rachel. Kralos is ours, she reported, her voice filled with determination. Nathaniel allowed himself a moment of relief. Well done, everyone. This is a major victory, but we can't rest yet. We still have more work to do. After the victory at Kralos, Nathaniel and Rachel Carter wasted no time planning their next move. The Zarnathi had regrouped and fortified their last stronghold, the planet Tarnak. Known for its treacherous terrain and unpredictable weather patterns, Tarnak posed a significant challenge. But Nathaniel and Rachel were determined to see their mission through. The briefing room aboard the jockey was tense as the Carters and their senior officers pored over intelligence reports and strategic maps. Tarnak's defenses are formidable, Nathaniel began. But we've identified a weak point in their southern hemisphere. A network of tunnels used for transportation and storage. If we can infiltrate those tunnels, we can bypass their surface defenses and strike directly at their command center. Commander Liu, ever the strategist, pointed to the holographic display. We'll need to send a covert team to secure the tunnel entrance. Once inside, we can deploy our main forces and catch the Zarnathi off guard. Rachel nodded, her expression resolute. I'll lead the infiltration team. We've come too far to fail now. Every step we take brings us closer to justice for Emily and all the others who have suffered. With the plan set, the infiltration team prepared for their mission. Clad in adaptive camouflage suits and armed with the latest in stealth technology, Rachel and her squad descended onto Tarnok's rocky surface under the cover of night. The howling winds and dense fog made navigation difficult, but they pressed on with unwavering determination. As they approached the tunnel entrance, Rachel signaled for her team to halt. "Thermal scans show a patrol up ahead. We'll need to take them out quietly," she whispered. Moving with practiced precision, the team neutralized the guards and secured the entrance, signaling the all-clear to the jockey. Nathaniel monitored their progress from the command center, his heart pounding with a mix of pride and anxiety. "Ground teams, move in. Follow the infiltration team and secure the tunnels. We'll launch a coordinated assault once we're inside." The human forces moved swiftly, entering the tunnels and navigating the labyrinthine network. The oppressive darkness and narrow passages created an eerie atmosphere, but Rachel's leadership kept morale high. They encountered sporadic resistance from Zarnathi troops, but the element of surprise was on their side. Deeper into the tunnels, the team reached a massive underground chamber filled with Zarnathi munitions and supplies. Rachel's eyes narrowed as she surveyed the stockpile. "Set the charges. We can't let them use any of this against us." Explosives were placed strategically around the chamber, and the team proceeded towards the command center. As they drew closer, the sounds of battle echoed through the tunnels. Human forces were engaging the Zarnathi defenders, pushing their way towards the heart of the stronghold. In the command center, Nathaniel watched as the battle unfolded in real time on the holographic display. "Our troops are making good progress, but we need to move quickly. Rachel, how close are you to the objective?" "We're almost there," Rachel replied, her voice steady despite the intensity of the situation. "Prepare for simultaneous detonation of the charges. We'll need to time this perfectly." The final push towards the Zarnathi command center was fierce. The defenders, realizing the gravity of their situation, fought with desperate ferocity. Rachel led her team through the chaos, every step bringing them closer to their goal. They breached the command center just as the charges were set to detonate. "Now!" Rachel commanded. The explosives went off in a series of deafening blasts, shaking the tunnels and collapsing the chamber behind them. The Zarnathi command center was plunged into chaos as human forces swarmed in, overwhelming the disoriented defenders. As the dust settled, Nathaniel's voice came through the comms. "We've secured the tunnels and the command center. Tarnok is ours." Rachel took a deep breath, a mix of relief and exhaustion washing over her. "Good work, everyone. We've dealt another significant blow to the Zarnathi. But this isn't over yet." Back on the jockey, Nathaniel and Rachel regrouped with their officers. The battle for Tarnok had been a grueling test of their resolve, but they had emerged victorious. The final confrontation with the Zarnathi was on the horizon, and the Carters knew that humanity's vengeance would soon be complete. The jockey cut through the inky blackness of space, its crew readying for the final confrontation. The United Earth Federation fleet, the largest and most powerful in the galaxy, was assembled and poised for action. Nathaniel and Rachel Carter stood on the bridge, their expressions steely and determined. The time had come to end the Zarnathi threat once and for all. The fleet approached the Zarnathi homeworld, a once thriving planet now scarred by war and desperation. Intelligence reports had revealed the location of the Zarnathi command bunker, buried deep beneath the planet's surface. It was heavily fortified, but the Carters had devised a plan to breach it. "We'll launch a two-pronged assault," Nathaniel explained to his assembled officers. "The bulk of our forces will engage the Zarnathi fleet in orbit, drawing their attention and resources. Meanwhile, a specially trained ground team will infiltrate the command bunker and neutralize their leadership." Rachel nodded, her eyes blazing with determination. "I'll lead the ground team. We've come too far to turn back now. Every moment we delay is another moment the Zarnathi can regroup and counterattack." The officers saluted, their resolve unshakable. As the fleet moved into position, the jockeys' weapon systems hummed with lethal energy. The final battle had begun. The Zarnathi fleet responded with ferocity, engaging the human ships in a deadly ballet of laser fire and missile barrages. Explosions lit up the void, casting eerie shadows across the hulls of the warring vessels. Nathaniel directed the fleet's movements with precision, anticipating the enemy's tactics and countering with ruthless efficiency. On the planet's surface, Rachel and her team landed near the entrance to the command bunker. The oppressive atmosphere and harsh terrain provided a stark contrast to the sterile environment of space. The team moved swiftly, using the element of surprise to their advantage. Zarnathi patrols were taken out silently, their bodies left behind as grim reminders of the humans' resolve. As they neared the bunker entrance, Rachel's calm crackled to life. "We're encountering heavy resistance up here," Nathaniel's voice reported. "The Zarnathi are throwing everything they've got at us." "Hold the line, Nathaniel. We'll finish this," Rachel replied, steeling herself for the task ahead. The team breached the bunker, encountering fierce resistance from the Zarnathi defenders. The narrow corridors and dim lighting created a nightmarish battleground, but Rachel's leadership kept the team focused and disciplined. They fought their way deeper into the bunker, every step bringing them closer to the Zarnathi command center. Explosions and the sounds of battle echoed through the underground facility, creating a chaotic symphony of destruction. The Zarnathi fought with desperate ferocity, but they were no match for the determined humans. Finally, they reached the command center. The Zarnathi leadership was gathered, frantically coordinating their defense. Rachel and her team burst in, weapons at the ready. "Surrender now, and we may show you mercy," Rachel called out, her voice ringing with authority. The Zarnathi leader, a tall figure with gleaming eyes, sneered. "You think you've won? Even if you kill us, others will rise to take our place." Rachel's eyes hardened. "Perhaps. But they won't have the chance." She gave the signal, and the team opened fire, cutting down the Zarnathi leaders in a hail of gunfire and energy blasts. The battle was over in moments, the command center falling silent except for the crackle of damaged electronics. Rachel activated her command center secured. The Zarnathi leadership is neutralized. Nathaniel's voice came through, filled with relief. "Well done, Rachel. The fleet is mopping up the remaining resistance. It's over." As the team regrouped and made their way back to the surface, Rachel allowed herself a moment of reflection. They had avenged Emily and struck a decisive blow against the Zarnathi. The cost had been high, but humanity's unity and resolve had carried them through. Back aboard the jockey, Nathaniel and Rachel stood together on the bridge, watching as the Zarnathi homeworld receded into the distance. The war was over, but the memories of their journey would remain forever etched in their minds. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, a testament to the unbreakable spirit of humanity.